That's it, we're going to start taking the moulding off. Welcome back. So here we are continuing on with our pizza oven build. What we've got here is 2.5 inch 64mm ceramic fire brick that we're using for the base of our pizza oven. The reason we're using a thicker fire brick is because we didn't put any insulation in the slab. This 2.5 inch base should give us enough insulation to make our pizza oven work. What we've done, we've marked out the shape.
I'll let Rich waffle on in the background while I give you the details. We used a card template to position our fire bricks. We have a 600mm or 24-inch diameter cooking area, a 400mm or 16-inch landing or opening, and a 150mm or 6-inch entrance or tunnel. Using our template and a pen, we transferred the shape of the base onto our fire bricks, ready for cutting. The log store also makes a great home for our new team member, Cass, our rescue husky. Back to the build. Using a grinder and a stone cutting disc, Rich cut our fire bricks to shape.
So we've cut all the bricks, all the fire bricks, sorry, all numbered. So next thing is take them all off, lay them all down in the same pattern so we don't lose them, even though we have numbered them. And then we're going to put a layer of sand on, layer of building sand. Not too thick, just something to get them all not level but flat, so that when you put your pizza peel in, peel, I can't remember. Peel.
Thing.
It doesn't actually hit on anything. So that's the plan. That's the next plan. So that's it. Let's get cracked on with the next stage.
Using thin pieces of timber and a straight edge, we levelled our sand, ready to lay our fire bricks. Laying the bricks out on the floor in numbered order worked really well. Once we got into the swing of laying them, the job went really quickly. Used the rubber mallet to tap the side of each of the bricks to make sure that each one was perfectly seated next to its neighbour. To check that the fire bricks were level, we used a piece of concrete board just to run over the surface. We laid mortar around the edge of the fire bricks to stop them from moving during the next stage.
Right, so what we've decided to do, instead of using a blow-up exercise ball and then put it on separate, we're going to create a sand form. We've made a couple of forms, which are these, which are for the internal shape of the oven, and then also for this one we've got a form for the tunnel of the oven. We've bolted it out with brick, and then what we're going to do, we're going to put sand on it, probably wet sand, form it to the shape, use these as a guide for what shape we want. Then from that we'll then put our vermiculite on top of that.
Now on to the fun stuff. With the sand form complete, the next thing to do was position the chimney. We used an offcut of plastic pipe and positioned it about halfway along the tunnel, simply pushing it into the sand. We needed to reinforce our vermiculite, so took this opportunity to shape the chicken wire to the shape of the oven. We covered the sand form in cling film to protect it while we did this.
We're now at the stage where we're starting to put on our vermiculite and we're using refractory cement,
Yeah.
this aren't we?
Cement.
Vermiculite and refractory cement. We've done a mix of 1 part cement by volume to 5 parts vermiculite. And what we've done up to now is we've wrapped the mould in cling film, then put paper over it. The idea being that the cling film and the paper will actually come back off easy when we take the mould apart, but the vermiculite will actually bond to the paper a little bit, which will actually help keep it in place until we come to take it all apart. So that's what we're on with next. We're going to put a thin layer on, probably about inch and a half. Then we're going to put a wire mesh on, which we've already pre-formed, just to put a little bit more reinforcement into the vermiculite. And then we'll put another layer of vermiculite over the top, and hopefully that will give us our 3 inch of vermiculite and refractory cement mix.
I'm really pleased that we used the paper over the top of the cling film. As it turned out, the vermiculite was really difficult to apply. It just wasn't sticky.
Right, here we are. We're about 3 days later. Everything's dried out. What we did to slow the drying down, we put some damp sheets over it, just to kind of so it didn't dry out too quick and crack. So the plan now is we're going to demold. And when we say demold, what we're going to do, we're going to take all the sand and bricks we put on the inside out, and then give it a chance to dry out on the inside for a couple of days. Then we can make a start on the rest of the outside. So let's get cracked on.
It felt like it took almost as long to take the sand out of the oven as it did to make the former in the first place. So we're going to leave it now for a few days just to get some air in there and for it to start to dry out from the inside outwards now. Hopefully that's the plan. So while I go on in the background pulling funny faces, talking about how the pizza oven's going to dry out and how we're going to take the paper out from inside of it, we'll leave it there until next time, where in part 3 we will be adding the chimney, the fire blanket and possibly even render. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.